Most High's chosen people. As always, it is a Shabbat day. It is a day that's been appointed for the children of Israel to gather together, a holy convocation, a holy gathering of the Most High's chosen people. Today we're going to go over a portion. This is portion number 7. Portion number 7, which is Genesis. We're going to do portion number 8, which is Genesis 32 and 4 to 36 and 43. That's 32 and 4 to 36 and 43 is the portion of the Torah in which we'll be receiving instruction from this day. As you know, Torah, the word Torah means instruction. So we must receive instruction from the Most High so we learn how to trust in the Most High. Because a lot of people, they don't trust the Most High because they don't know the Most High. You know, a lot of times they don't want to follow the commandments because they don't know the commandments. But once you learn the commandments, you start to learn what the scriptures say, then without a doubt, you'll understand how important the commandments is for our spiritual guidance and our, uplifting ourselves out of the ways of this world. Because without the commands of the Most High God, right, we are forced to live like the Gentiles or like the nations, which live according to how they feel or what they think. In other words, scriptures call it their own understanding. But we want to come with we want to be unified with our Father that's in heaven. We must do things according to his understanding. Everybody understand that? All right. So let's get Colossians 3, verse 17. Let's start out there. Giving all praise to the Most High in the name of the Mashiach Yahushua.
The book of Colossians, chapter 3 and verse 17. And whatsoever we do in word or deed, do all in the name of Hamashiach Yahushua.
Right.
Give it thanks to Yahweh and the Abba by him.
Right. So all things we do in word or deed, right? That means in what you say and your actions, word or deed. Your deeds is your actions. We do it in the name of the Most High, Bahashem Hamashiach Yahushua, giving all things to the Son of the Heavenly Father. All right. So let's get Proverbs 3 and 5. Get Proverbs, the book of Proverbs, the 3rd chapter and the 5th verse.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 5.
Come.
Trust in the Most High.
Do what?
Trust in the Most High.
So this is what we're talking about. How can we trust in the Most High? If I came to you and you don't know me, and I say, well, you trust me. Are you going to trust me? You'd be a fool to trust me, right? Because first thing you said, well, trust you. I don't know you. Why you ask me to trust you? So for us to trust the Most High, we got to know the Most High. Everybody understand that? How do we get to know the Most High? How do we get to know him? Do we go on a mountain and pray or something? What do we do? Light a lot of incense? How do we know the Most High? How do we get to know him? Where is he? Let's... Right? Give me, you got answers. You got to give me a verse. You got to give me a verse with answers. All right. What you got, Manatazah?
1 John 2 and 3.
1 John 2 and 3? Okay, let's look at that. Get 1 John 2 and 3. Manatazah always searching for some alternate scripture. Let me see what he got there. All right.
The book of 1 John, chapter 2, verse 3.
Okay.
And hereby we do know that we know him if we keep his commandments.
Hereby we know him that we keep his commandments, right? So that's not how we get to know him. That's just proof that you do know him. How do you get to know him? Right? That was close, right? But I was a little bit ahead. How do you get to know him, sis? Well, everybody could say that. A lot of people say they talk to them. A lot of people was talking to the Heavenly Father at their Thanksgiving table, right? They thought they was talking to him. They thought they was praying to him. right? The Chinese pray, the Islam, they pray 3 times a day. They be bowing all over the place, right? How do we get to know the Most High God? Right? Say it louder. Psalms 37, and that says, right? That's saying that you. That's yeah, but you already got to trust him there, right? We before the trusting part. We trying to figure out how we going to trust the Most High. How are we going to trust him? Right? What you got? Right. You got to know him to trust him, right? That's a good one. What you got, Qua? Hebrews 10 and 7. Let's get that. All right. Hebrews 10 and 7.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 10 and verse 7. Then said I, lo, I come in the volume of the book.
Right.
It is written of me to do thy will, O Yahweh.
Right. So Most High comes, where does he come at? In the volume of the book. What book? The Bible. Right? The Bible. Basic instructions before leaving earth. The Bible. Okay. Bible. That's where he's been. So all the time the Most High has been with you. He's been in the Bible. We're looking for him in the priests. We're looking for him in the church. We're looking for him, we're going to go to get some water sprinkled on us. We're looking for him in the water. He said he's in the Bible. He's in the book. So what are we supposed to do with this book? Give me Isaiah 34, verse 16. Isaiah 34, verse 16.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 34 and verse 16.
Come on.
Seek ye out of the book of the Most High.
Do what?
Seek ye out of the book of the Most High.
That's why the Most High says, seek ye out of the book of the Most High. Look in the book. You want to learn about the Most High? He's in the book. Then you can get to the point where you trust him and then you get all the fruits of trust. How could you trust him if you don't know? Right? Read.
And read.
And what?
And read.
And read. Read on.
No one of these shall fail.
Nothing in this Bible gonna fail you. Come on.
None shall want her mate.
Right? And none shall want her mate. What does that mean? None shall want her mate. What's a mate to an animal? A match, right? A match. You get a mate. You get your like for a male, you get your female mate. Or if you're a female, you get your male mate. That's a match for you. Y'all, like they say, oh, this is a match. We perfect together. But what did the scripture say?
None shall want her mate.
None shall want her mate. So what does that mean? There's no other book that could match the Bible. Now, you can go to other books to get information, understanding, vocabulary, words, things of that sort. Find words, go back to the Hebrew, but there's no book that matches with the Bible. Because some people might think the Quran matches with the Bible, right? Because you got people that's, they believe in the Quran or they believe in the Egyptian Book of the Dead when you deal with Kemet and all these things. There is no match to the Bible. There is no full instruction like what you find in the pages of the scriptures. Okay? There's brief synopsis, things that break down little pieces of the Bible. But to get the full understanding, you got to go from Genesis to Revelations. Everybody understand that? You can't skip not one word, one verse, one syllable, right? One line for you to get the understanding from the Most High. So now it says read the Bible. So now do you just open up in Genesis and just read it through? Is that how you're going to get the understanding? How much we read the Bible? Say Karash. Say it again, Karash. Isaiah what? 28 and 10. There you go. Get Isaiah 28 and 10.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 28 and verse 10.
See, the Bible even tells you, it tells you to read me. It tells you that the Most High is in there. It tells you how to read it too. So you don't have to make up anything. You don't have to, all you have to do is follow the instruction. Everybody understand that? Read.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 28, verse 10. For precept must be upon precept.
We can start with 9.
Verse 9. Whom shall he teach knowledge?
Right.
And whom shall he make to understand doctrine?
Right. So who shall he teach knowledge? Who shall he make understand doctrine? So he's about to let us know this is how you're going to get knowledge. This is how you're going to be able to understand doctrine. Read on.
Them that are weaned from the milk,
right,
and drawn from the breast.
Right. So what does it mean, weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast? That means what? You got to first start with like a baby. You got to start with the simple things. Then you can go into the more complex things. Some people get in the Bible, they want to know everything that's going on in the heavens. Hold on. You got to understand what's going on right here. You got to first understand how to eat right, how to interact with your brothers correctly, how to interact with the people in your life according to Scripture before you can start searching out into the heavens. You must first master earthly things before you go into the heavens. Everybody understand that? Because if you get worried about the heavens, you're not up there. So the things in the heavens don't really concern you yet. But as you master earthly things, then you can start to more understand what is going on in the realm of the Most High in the heavens. All right? What you going to pay? Yeah, hold that, though. I'm going to go off on a tangent if I go there. Let's go. Let's read on.
Verse 10. For precept must be upon precept.
Right.
Precept upon precept.
Come on.
Line upon line.
So precept must be upon precept. What does that mean? What is a precept? Who knows what a precept is? A scripture verse. Right? That's what a precept is. A scripture verse. Right? Read it again.
For precept must be upon precept.
Right?
Precept upon precept. Line upon line.
So what does it mean by upon? What does that mean? It means matching. Right? Upon means what? It has to be a foundation. Right? You have to rest, one verse has to rest on another verse. So every verse can be explained by another verse. Everybody understand that? That's how you understand the Bible. You can't just read it in one place. You got to say, okay, where else is this? Where's the foundation to this understanding? Okay? That's why you have to link scriptures together. That's why you got to link verses together, because they don't stand alone. The verse has to be upon another verse. You might read something in a line. There's another line that supports what that line is saying. Everybody understand that? Read.
Line upon line.
Right.
Here a little and there a little.
So what about here a little, there a little? What is that saying now? Right. So just Old Testament, New Testament? Apocrypha, right? Means that in this book or that book, because you might realize that the Bible is a compilation of books, right? You got the book of Isaiah, you got the book of Jeremiah, you got the book of Luke, book of Matthews, Mark, John, right? You got all the epistles from Paul, right? Ephesians, Corinthians. Here a little, there a little. Meaning that you can read something in Genesis and the understanding of what you read in Genesis is in the book of Peter's. You can read something in John and understanding what's in John is in Proverbs. Okay? This is how you piece the Bible together. This is how the Bible is telling us how to get the understanding. So we didn't make this up ourselves. Because people might say, well, why do you keep jumping around the Bible? Because the Bible told me to give the understanding that way. I'm instructed by the scripture to jump around the scripture. So it's not just to read one chapter. Because to get the understanding, you got to break that chapter down. Everybody understand that? Okay. Yeah, Itazar? 119, 104. Do I precepts do I get understanding? Okay, come. Give me Psalm 119, 104.
Psalms 119 and verse 104.
Psalm 119, verse 104. Read.
Through thy precepts.
Through thy what?
Through thy precepts.
Through thy precepts, read.
I get understanding.
That's how you get understanding. Through the precepts. So it's not something going to be zapped to you. It's not that you got a link, some holy link to the Most High. Through the precepts is how the Most High speaks to us and give us understanding. All right, go back now to Isaiah 28 and 10.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 28, verse 10.
That's why it's very imperative when you come to class or service here that you have a pen, right? This is one of the most powerful tools you can have when you come to this class. A pen, and guess what else it needs? It needs paper. Because we go through a lot of verses, a lot of scripture, and you will no way, unless you have a picture-perfect memory, going to remember all the verses that we went through. And you don't want to be like church. When you leave here, you be like, man, that was a good service. What did y'all talk about? You be stuck, right? Love. I'm sure we did. I'm sure we talked about love. We will talk about a lot in one service. You'll get a lot of information here in one service. So you got to have pen and paper. If you don't have a pen and paper, let us know. We can get that for you. So you could make sure that you are writing these things down so later on you can review it. All right, read on.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 28 and 10. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line. Here a little and there a little.
Right.
For with stammering lips,
right,
and another tongue.
And another what?
And another tongue.
With stammering lips and another tongue. What is a tongue? Language. Language. With stammering lips and another language, read on.
Will he speak to this people?
He will speak to this people. Which people? You. Me. The Most High already prophesied that we wasn't going to be speaking the language that the Bible was originally written in. What language was the Bible written in? Hebrew. Are we speaking Hebrew? A little bit here and there, you know what I mean? When we praying, and you know, some of us are a little bit more versed in Hebrews than others, but we go out there to teach our people speak in English, French, and Spanish, right? Or they call it Creole, right? A derivative of French, Spanish. That's what our people are speaking. So this Bible got to be spoken to them in English, Creole, Spanish, right? Some of our people speak Dutch. They speak different language, different areas where our people have been scattered all over the earth. So that's what? It was prophesied in the Bible that the Bible would need to be spoken to them in their native tongue, in their language. So when the Bible talks about speaking in tongues, it's not talking about okay? That's not what it's talking about because nobody understands that. All right? Nobody can break that down, right? It's actually talking about other languages. Everybody understand that? So when they say I'm speaking in tongues in the church, if they're not speaking in another language that you understand, that is not of the Most High God. Everybody understand that? Some of our people, we came out of that church and we think that we thought that was real spiritual. You know what I mean? Wondering why Sister Ann every week the Lord is just giving her tongues, right? He ain't giving her no tongues, right? That ain't no tongue. Tongue is a language, right? Scriptures say you should not speak in a language that nobody understands. Everybody understand that? I gotta prove that to you. We're not speaking a language that nobody understands. Look at that. What's that? 1 Corinthians 14? Yeah. Get 1 Corinthians, man. Remember, you think I'm making that up.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 14.
Start verse 1.
And verse 1. Follow after charity.
Right.
And desire spiritual gifts.
Right.
But rather that ye may prophesy.
Right. Rather that ye may prophesy. Mean that what? It's better that you teaching. Yeah, you can get spiritual gifts. Follow after charity. But it's better that you prophesy. Prophesy means what? Thus saith the Most High God. Anytime you go out and you teach and you say, thus saith Yahweh, that's prophesied. Okay? But you speaking the words of the Most High. You're not speaking your own words. Read.
For he that speaketh in an unknown tongue,
right,
speaketh not unto men,
right,
but unto the Most High.
Right? You must be speaking unto the Most High, because no man understand what you say. Right? Read on.
For no man understandeth him.
Because no man understand what he's saying. Right? Read.
Howbeit in the spirit he speaketh mysteries.
Come on.
But he that prophesieth speaketh unto men to edification.
To what?
To edification.
That's when you speak. You're supposed to speak to edification. When you're in the midst of your brothers and sisters, they're supposed to get edified from what came out your mouth. What's the sense of me coming in and speaking stuff? Y'all know what I'm saying. You don't understand what I'm talking about. Y'all just looking at me. All right? That don't make any sense. Most High is a decency and an order. Everything to be done decently and in order. Read on.
And exhortation and comfort.
Right? So exhortation, edification, comfort should come out your mouths. Read on.
He that speaketh in an unknown tongue edifieth himself.
He must be edifying himself. Because nobody else understands what he's saying. Read on.
But he that prophesieth edifieth the church.
There it is. So it's better to prophesy. Everybody understand that? It's better to speak where other people understand what you're saying. Read on.
I would that ye all spake with tongues.
Right.
But rather that ye prophesied.
Come on.
For greater is he that prophesieth than he that speaketh with tongues.
Right.
Except he interpret.
Right.
That the church may receive edifying.
Right. So if I spoke in another language, somebody better be here to interpret what I'm saying. Right. If I came here speaking all in Hebrew, like when we send the prayers up, we send up in Hebrew and in what? English. So you understand what you just said in Hebrew. So we're not just speaking over your heads. We're all speaking Hebrew and nobody understands what they're saying. Then you just what? What are you getting out of that? Nothing. You're not getting edified. You're not getting comforted. So we must speak that we all understand. Right? Clear understanding. Let's go back to Proverbs, right? When we started 3 and 5. So now we understand how we're going to trust the Most High. We got to trust him by what? By learning his word, by going in the Bible. That's how we're going to learn how to trust him, because we're going to know him, because he's in the book. Read.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 5.
Come on.
Trust in the Most High with all thine heart.
Come on.
And lean not unto thine own understanding.
Read on.
In all thy ways acknowledge him.
Right. So the Bible says not to lean on your own understanding. That means there's things in your head. We all got imagination. We all have one. And our imagination is full of what? Opinions and ideas. Right? We might say, well, the Bible is tainted with. Right? Because it went through so many people's hands and it's been printed for all these years. Okay. That's an idea. That's a thought. And I would ask you, well, where is it tainted at? What's the discrepancy? Show it to me. Show me the problem in the Bible. Show me the issue. Show me where things don't line up or don't add up or don't make sense. All right? I've yet to get that answer. People just repeat what they hear people say. It's an idea. It's not true. It's an idea. Okay? You're part of your what? Imagination. Right? You might be based on your own logic. But the Bible just told us what? Lean not on thy own understanding. Okay? The first man that we have to stop trusting is ourselves. Okay? That's the first man we got to get past. Right? Because the scriptures say he that trusts in man shall be what? Shall be cursed. Okay? We got to make sure we're not trusting even our own imagination, that we got our understanding through precept. Through thy precepts have I get an understanding. Okay? Read on.
In all thy ways acknowledge him.
In all thy ways acknowledge the Most High. That means what? When you go to eat, acknowledge the Most High. You go to buy clothes, acknowledge the Most High. You go to meet a female, acknowledge the Most High. You're a female, you go to meet a male, acknowledge the Most High. How do you acknowledge him? Somebody said prayer. How else do you acknowledge him? Before you pray, because a lot of people pray, man. Everybody pray. Some people fast. How do we acknowledge the Most High? Being obedient. That's how you acknowledge him. Meaning that you're acknowledging verse, scripture. You're saying, okay, am I dealing with this food? If I go to the supermarket, right? And I go, I'm shopping through the aisles, and I pick up some food, and I read the ingredients. It got some, some shrimp in there, some lobster, some gumbo, whatever case I'm picking up. I pick it up and I say, well, man. Now he said acknowledge the Most High by praying. So I'm gonna pray over it before I eat it, right? Is that acknowledging the Most High? No. Right? Maybe I fasted and said, may the Lord, hopefully he bless my gumbo. Is that acknowledging the Most High? No. Right? Chantel? Yeah, you got to pray over it and it'll be clean. Bless it and set it. That's it. But this is the imagination of man. The Bible doesn't say that. That's the whole thing about it. We can find verses to correct people's imagination when the Bible never said that. What the Bible did say, hold on, where are you at? Give me Ecclesiastes 7 and 13. Mm-hmm.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7 and verse 13.
Read.
Consider the work of the Most High.
Right.
For who can make that straight,
right, which he have made crooked? Now, consider the work of the Most High. Who can straighten out what the Most High made crooked? That means you'd be on a level with the Heavenly Father. If he says something is crooked or unclean, can you make it clean? No. You cannot make anything clean that the Most High made unclean. So that whole thought is that I'm going to pray over it is going to make it right. That's like a murderer saying, I'm going to pray before I go commit this murder. But I'm going to pray first, you know what I mean? And ask the Lord to be with me that when I shoot, I don't miss him, right? And, all right, Lord, got in my hands. I'm going to go murder this guy. So I got to get this money. When we put it that way, it's a lot clearer that your prayer, it don't matter. Why does your prayer don't matter? Give me Proverbs 28, verse 9. Proverbs 28, verse 9. Your prayer don't matter if it's in wickedness. Who are you praying to? Read that.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 28 and verse 9.
Come on.
He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law.
Right.
Even his prayer.
Even his what?
His prayer.
His who?
His prayer.
But the Lord said, I just the Lord to bless this ham harp and this harp. I ask him to bless it. And we'll hold hands and bow your heads and ask the good Lord to be in our presence as we receive these chitlins. Right? Read that.
Shall be abomination.
Shall be what?
Abomination.
The Lord said your prayer is an abomination if you're not keeping his laws. So who are you praying to? Right? These are the scriptures that they overlook in the churches, or I don't know. They just don't want to see it. I don't know what it is. Maybe they say it's the Old Testament. Let's go down to the New Testament. Right? Give me St. John. Right? 9:31. Maybe because it was in the Old Testament. They don't look that far. But they be pulling Proverbs, right? So you're always in the Psalms. Psalms right next to Proverbs. I can't say they couldn't find it. Let's see. Read that.
The book of John, chapter 9 and verse 31.
Uh-huh.
Now we know that the Most High heareth not sinners.
Wait a minute. I thought everybody was a sinner. We all sinners. Read that again.
Now we know that the Most High heareth not sinners.
He heareth not sinners. He don't hear sinners. So you're wondering why you're praying and your prayer not coming through. Maybe you need to stop all this sinning. Maybe if you calm down on the sinning, your prayers will start to be answered. Is everybody understand that? We're not making this up. We'll read it again.
Now we know that the Most High heareth not sinners.
Read on.
But if any man be a worshiper of the Most High,
if you truly worship the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the power of Israel, right? Read on.
And doeth his will.
And you do his will. It means you follow his commandments. Read on.
Him he heareth.
Him he heareth. Then he will hear your prayer. It's like you have parents. We all have parents, right? If you didn't do what your parent told you to do, are they going to give you what you want? It's simple knowledge. You know you've been off. Teacher done call the house. You're going to come home and ask for things? You better be quiet at the church mouse. Right? You want to get more problems on yourself because you open your mouth. You claim that you're asking for something. That's why the Bible said your prayer becomes an abomination. Why? Because you turn your ear away from my law. I try to tell you what to do and not do. You don't want to hear me, but you want me to bless you. Yeah, we're going to try that one. All right? You be as one that tempt the Most High God. All right? We are not to tempt the Father. Okay? But we are to do and as he wills us to do. And in that, there's great reward. Right? There's great reward in doing the will of the Most High. Right? This is what's missing from our people. This is why we go through. This is why we're talking about Black Lives Matter. This is why we march and we talking about the injustices. This is why we pack the jail cells. This is why we pack, it's disproportionately we pack, the penitentiaries, the county, disproportionately, man. Everybody's here, but why we the most up in there? All right. Everybody got poor people. There's poor people amongst all people. Why is our poor neighborhood so large? Okay. Other nations got poor people. They get a couple of blocks, maybe 1 or 2 streets of poor people. We got the whole district, right? Why is that? So we have to stop asking these questions and getting these answers, right? We got to stop asking questions and start receiving answers. These are the answers. We got the answers. The answers are in the Bible. We got to keep the law, statute, commandments. This is why every week we go over a portion of the Torah. Torah means instruction. Torah is how we're going to get to know the Most High. Everybody understand that? Once we know him, then it's up to us to then act like we know him. Okay? We can't know him and just continue doing what we've been doing. Once you know him, act like you know him. Understand that the Most High is right there. He's not a million miles away. He's right above the sky. All that nonsense the white man taught you about him traveling through space and that's all garbage. That's all his imagination. Okay. You go above these skies, you go above the firmament, guess what you're running into? Most High God. So you better be careful. He ain't that far away. He ain't that far away. Okay. Don't let the imaginations of man fool you. Okay. So go back to the Proverbs 3 and 5.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 5.
Come on.
Trust in the Most High,
right,
with all thine heart,
and
lean not unto thine own understanding.
Read on.
In all thy ways acknowledge him.
Come on.
And he shall direct thy path.
Exactly. That's how you get direction from the Most High. You got to acknowledge him in all your ways. Not just some of your ways, all your ways. All right? It can't be only when it's convenient. Everybody understand that? Even when it's inconvenient, you got to acknowledge the Most High and do his, and follow his will. Okay? You might be in your life, there's times where you're going to be upset. You're going to be angry. That's not an excuse to break the Most High's commandments. Everybody understand that? You still got to be in Torah. You still have to follow your instruction. All right? How you feel is not a condition whether you follow the Most High or not. That's when you're being tested. The test comes when you don't feel like doing what the Father said. What you going to do? Then you're going to determine whether you are actually following yourself or following the Most High. Right? Right? It could be in your you could have that thought pattern. You know what? I want to dress modest apparel today. I'm feeling like modest apparel today. So you put on your long dress and your head covering and everything. And then a day comes where you don't feel like it today. I want to dress like, give me somebody. Rihanna, right? I want to get my Rihanna on today. Do you do it? If you do it, that proves to yourself that you don't follow the Most High God. It's your convenience. You cannot follow the Father upon your convenience. Everybody understand that? The Father said either be hot or cold, man. All right? Matter of fact, let's get that real quick, then we'll get into the portion. Revelations. Third chapter.
Verse 15. The book.
Hold on, don't get let me see. You talking about 13? Huh? 15? All right, come.
The book of Revelation, chapter 3 and verse 15.
Read.
I know thy works,
right?
That thou art neither cold nor hot.
Right.
I would thou wert cold or hot.
Right. I mean, make a decision, man. Either you rolling with the Father or you not. This sometime-ish thing, what's going to happen to you? Read on.
So then, because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot,
right?
I will spew thee out of my mouth.
You know, I'm going to get rid of you, man. Because I show you my word and you still half-stepping. All right? I gave you my wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and you still halfway in the world, and you're in the bed, and you're playing games with the Most High. I'm an Israelite today, but tomorrow I'm a nigga tomorrow. Right? I'm gonna be a true Hebrew today, but you know what? I'm just gonna be black. I'm gonna be a Negro. I'm gonna be a Jamaican. I'm gonna be Trinidadian. Right? I'm gonna be Haitian. Today I'm gonna be Haitian. Every year, what was it on Haitian Flag Day? Right? I'm gonna be Haitian on Haitian Flag Day. Oh yeah, I'm a Levite, but today I'm Haitian. Right? We got to think about these things, especially as the Most High has imparted his knowledge, his wisdom onto you. Can we just hang it up when we feel like hanging it up and then pick it up when we feel like picking it up? The Most High said, La. He said, if you like that, I'm going to spew you out my mouth. Right? I'm going to take my spirit from you. Next you know, you ain't going to know nothing from you're not going to know anything. You understand this knowledge is a gift that can be taken back. Right? That's why we don't follow man in this walk. Because any one of us can be taken, most likely have us back in the Christian church, including myself. All right? Or looking for Selassie or something, right? Somewhere doing something out of the realm of the Most High God. It's a gift to know Yahweh. It's a gift his spirit is given unto you and it can be taken from you. All right? Read on.
Because thou sayest, I am rich,
right,
and increase with goods,
right,
and have need of nothing, and knowest not that thou art wretched and miserable and poor and blind and naked.
Right, so that's one of the biggest tricks when you got monetary wealth, when you got money. A lot of people, when they get money, they forget about the Most High God, right? Because they got money. When they want to answer, how am I going to do this? They're going to pay for it, right? That's their answer. So the money becomes their God. That's why you think all these rappers nowadays, they boasting about serving Satan. Yeah, we the devil. It's cool now to be the devil, right? Because they have money. And that's what money, that love of money is what? What's the love of money? The root of all evil, right? 1 Timothy 6 and 10, right? Go write it down. The root of all evil. So it brings you what? To wickedness. Every year, everybody wants to win. What they want to win? $100 million for? What was the last one? Like some insane amount of money, right? We can do all that money. You gonna serve the Most High with all that money? I don't think so. All right? You start to love that money, it's going to pull you into that world. Okay? Not saying you can't be rich and serve the Most High, because what? Abraham was rich, Khan. Right? Job was rich, Khan. These were righteous men. They were rich. Lot was amongst all the wicked and kept himself right. And he was in the city of wickedness. He might as well live in Fort Lauderdale, right? In Miami, right? He might as well lived in New York or California, where he was at, Sodom and Gomorrah, right? But he still stayed righteous. And he had wealth. So we're not saying you can't be wealthy and be righteous. But in this kingdom, all that wealth is all this kingdom have to offer is more wickedness. Read on.
I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire, that thou mayest be rich, and white raiment, that thou mayest be clothed, and that the shame of thy nakedness do not appear.
So how do we buy of the Most High gold tried in the fire? What does that mean? What does that mean? Buy the Most High gold tried in the fire. What is that referring to? What is that? Is that talking about actual gold? What is it talking about? Anybody can answer. Huh? Give me scripture. You know what I want? You know I want scripture. What does that mean? Gold tried in the fire. I called you to buy me for me gold tried in the fire. What is that talking about? Who is he talking about? What is it talking about? Yeah, that's vague though. Like, you know. Nah. Mm-mm. Yeah, you got it. What'd you say? There you go. Let's get it. Let's get the book of Sirach. Let's see what that gold tried in the fire is talking about. But start with 2 and 1, and then you'll jump down.
Okay.
Sirach, the 2nd chapter, 1st verse, and then you jump down to the 5th verse.
Okay. The book of Sirach in the Red Apocrypha, page 71, chapter 2 and verse 1. Sirach chapter 2 and verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Most High, prepare thy soul for temptation.
Right. Prepare thy soul for temptation. What is your soul? Your life. Right? Prepare your life to be tempted. Things are going to try to tempt you to do wickedly left and right. As soon as you start talking about you serving Yahweh, you keeping the commandments, here comes the demons, the whatever you want to call them. Beelzebub himself is coming to see you. Right? Legion, there you go. All right? Legion is coming to see you. And it's coming to pull you in every direction that he can pull you in. Bring every demonic spirit he can bring. When I say demonic spirit, I'm talking about lust, envy, strife, malice, evil concupiscence. Those are the demons of the Most High. Everybody understand that? We're not talking about like Marvel comics where you see demons flying in the sky. That's the man's imagination. We're talking about the evil eye. We're talking about strife between you and your brother, you and your sister. We're talking about envy, malice. Those are the demons of the Most High God. Everybody understand that? He got demons. And they all coming to see you to tempt you to what? Break the commandments. Move off the way. Come out of the way of the Most High. Right? Don't do the things of righteousness. Don't convocate. Don't get with your brothers. Don't, all these spirits to single you out, to separate you. Read on.
You want to jump to 2?
You might as well read down to
all right.
5, yeah.
Set thy heart aright.
Right.
And constantly endure.
Constantly what?
Endure.
Right.
And make not haste in time of trouble.
So what does it mean to constantly endure and make not haste in time of trouble? What are you enduring? When you need to endure, why would you need to endure? That's the question. Why would you need to endure? When does somebody have to endure something? When they're what? When they're battling. Okay. Struggle is a good word. All right. When they're being tempted. Right. Being persecuted and ridiculed. Right. When they're going through stuff, what? Tribulations. Right. These are all correct. You have to endure when something is difficult. When something is difficult and it's on you, you have to endure it. Right? Like sometimes you might have a pain and they say, well, it'll pass. But before it passes, you have to what? Endure it. Right? They say, well, don't let it stop you. Don't get what? Hasty in the time of trouble. Don't try to find a solution that takes you away from the Most High God. Everybody understand that? You got to endure it. You're going to go through something. Don't think because the Most High woke you up to these scriptures that all of a sudden everything's going to be great. Every door is going to be wide open for you, right? Everything you touch is going to turn to gold. And it doesn't work that way. We just read in Revelations. He says, read that. We're going to go back to, give me that verse in Revelations we just read. And put the gold tried in the fire. In Revelations. Yep, 3. This is what we're breaking out. Revelations 3. Yeah, try it in the fire.
Oh, that's in
Nope, in Revelations.
Oh, okay.
18.
All right, the book of Revelation, chapter 3 and verse 18.
Read that again.
I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire.
Right. This is what we get an understanding of. What is the gold tried in the fire? What's the fire? What's the gold? What is he talking about here? Okay. So now we're in getting the understanding from Sirach, right? The 2nd chapter. Go back to Sirach, the 2nd chapter. Right? Read the 2nd verse now.
The book of Sirach, chapter 2 and verse 2. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure.
Right.
And make not haste in time of trouble.
Right. So the fire is what you got to endure. The problems, the issues. Don't be hasty. Don't be moved off your square. All right, read on.
Cleave unto him.
Do what?
Cleave unto him.
Hold on to the Most High. Read on.
And depart not away.
Read on.
That thou mayest be increased at thy last end.
So it might be difficult, but hold on. It's like you see like a strong wind is coming trying to blow you away, but you got to hold on. If you cleave on to the Most High, you're going to get the reward at the end after you go through whatever you need to go through. Read on.
Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully.
Now, it's easier said than done, I know, right? But the Bible says whatever is brought to you, take it cheerfully. Because now you know why you're going through what you're going through. The Most High is testing you. Before in the world, you have problems and you're like, why am I going through this? Right? Woe is me. But now when you're in the scriptures, you know, okay, I'm going through this because the Most High is trying to test me. Right? That's why things is coming at me. Unpleasant things I would rather not have to go through. I have to go through it. Why? Because the Most High is testing me. He's going to see, am I going to fold? Right? Remember when Job was going through all his trials, right? What did his wife tell him to do? Curse the Most High, right? Why don't you just curse the Most High and die? Right? Why don't you just blame it on the Father and die? Right? So that's when we know that's what Satan wants us to do. Satan wants you to what? Blame it on the Most High. Blame it on the commandments. See, I'm going through this because of the commandments. Right? If it wasn't for them damn commandments, right? I could work these extra hours and I can get that money I need. And I could be at the job on Saturday. Make that extra OT, and I'll be good. Right? It wasn't for these commandments getting in your way. That's how you curse the Most High, because you start to look at the good things of the Father as bad things. You start looking at the instruction of the Most High as something that's restraining you and holding you back. You're cursing the Most High when you do that. Everybody understand that? Because those things are of the Father. The word of the Most High is not holding you back. It's not preventing you from any good thing. It's preventing you from all evil things. That's what it's preventing you from. All evil things. Okay? Read on.
Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully.
Come on.
And be patient when thou art changed to a low estate.
Right. What does that mean? You might lose your job. You might lose your money. You might lose your honey. Right? But be patient when thou brought to a low estate. Don't say, though, start blaming the commandments. Right? Man, it wasn't for this truth, man. Messed up my whole household. Right? We be ready to blame the Most High on everything. Most High, like, I'm trying to straighten you out. Right? Read.
For gold is tried in the fire.
For what?
For gold is tried in the fire.
So now we're understanding what it was talking about in Revelation. For gold is tried in the fire. Read on.
And acceptable men.
And acceptable men, read.
In the furnace of adversity.
In the furnace of adversity. You are the gold being tried in the fire. Every adverse thing you go through is the fire. That's why the Most High told us, go back to Revelations 3:18.
The book of Revelations, chapter 3, verse 18.
Read.
I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire.
So he's telling problems, gold issues. Be the gold that's been tried in the fire. Right? Don't run because you got issue. Don't run because it's uncomfortable. There's going to be things in this word, it's going to be uncomfortable. No one here, even though it might seem like somebody don't go through nothing, everybody going through something, right? And something else is over the horizon too, right? There's problems that was past and there's problems that's coming. But if you are steadfast in the Most High, you stressed out. Next thing you know, you're trying to get to the bottom of a bottle, you're getting drunk, you're getting high. That's people that are looking for other ways to cope, to endure. Endure with the Most High. Most High said, cleave unto him when the issue comes. Right? Because you know those other things are first of all, they're phony. Right? They make you think that things are better, but they're not. The Most High, things will be corrected with the Father. Right? That's the only surefire way to get things corrected. Read on.
And white raiment that thou mayest be clothed.
Right, and white raiment that thou mayest be clothed. What does a white raiment represent? Righteousness. Right? It represents righteousness, the white raiment that you may be clothed. So all this the Most High has prepared for us. Okay? He has prepared it for us, and we know we got to be that gold that goes through the fire. Everybody understand that? All right, so that's what the Most High is saying. He's encouraging us to go through the fire. All right, so let's begin the portion for today as we get to know the Most High through his commandments, through his precepts. All right, shall we get understanding? So let's get Genesis 32 and 4. Genesis 32 verse 4.
The book of Genesis, chapter 32 and verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
And he commanded them, saying, Thus shall ye speak unto my lord Esau, thy servant Jacob saith thus, I have sojourned with Laban and stayed there until now.
Right, so now what's happening right now? Jacob is traveling, right? He's about to go into the land of what? Whose land he's about to pass through? Esau. Okay. So he knows that he know that Esau doesn't favor him. Jacob and Esau got beef, in other words, right? They got issues, all right? Why does Esau have issue with Jacob? What's the problem? I heard the birthright. I heard the blessing. All right? Anybody else want to take it to It's just in his spirit. Right. He hated you. Esau hated you before you was created, before y'all even came out the womb. Esau hated Jacob before they was born. Everybody understand that? They just added more fuel to the fire with the blessing and the birthright. But there was already drama between Esau and Jacob. When they was in the womb, in Rebekah's womb, they was what? Fighting in the womb. All right? So we know the history of, and those that may be new amongst us, Esau and Jacob is Esau is a so-called white man, right? The so-called Caucasian, right? Slave master, right? And Jacob is, right, the descendants of the slaves, right? That came to the Western Hemisphere and those that were enslaved when the white man came to the Western Hemisphere, like we went over Wednesday, right? And on Wednesday, we went over the proof that the northern tribes was put in slave ships. We went over that proof Wednesday. If you missed Wednesday class, well, you can look it online then, all right? No back to, but the northern tribes, the so-called North American Indian, went on slave ships back to Europe. So for some people that say they never went on a slave ship, you earn not knowing history. Okay? They were enslaved, they were killed, they were diseased, they were bonded, all those things just like our people were right here in this land. Why? Because we're the same people. Everybody understand that? Okay. So now, right now we got Jacob traveling through the land that Esau was controlling. And so now Jacob is sending messenger saying, listen, tell him that, call him my Lord, big him up, big up Esau, big his head up, make him feel like that it's all good between the two of us. To see if he'll talk to him nicely that we can pass through without an issue. All right? So let's read on.
The book of Genesis, chapter 32 and verse 5. And I have oxen and donkeys, flocks, and men servants, and women servants. And I have sent to tell my Lord that I may find grace in thy sight. And the messengers returned to Jacob, saying,
right, so he sent the messages, told him, listen, I got all these things. I can give you some oxen. I can give you some donkeys. I can hook you up. So he came with gifts and flattering speech towards Esau. Everybody see that? Let's see what he got in return. Read on.
We came to thy brother Esau, and also he cometh to meet thee, and 400 men with him. Then Jacob was greatly afraid and distressed, and he divided the people that was with him, and the flocks, and herds, and the camels, into 2 bands, and said, if Esau come to the one company and smite it, then the other company which is left shall escape.
Right.
And Jacob said, O Yahweh, my father, Abraham, and the power of my father Isaac, the Most High which saidest unto me, return unto thy country and to thy kindred, and I will deal well with thee.
Right.
I am not worthy of the least of all the mercies and of all the truth which thou hast showed unto thy servant. For with my staff I pass over this Jordan.
Right.
And now I am become 2 bands.
Right. Come on.
Deliver me, I pray thee, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau. For I fear him, lest he will come and smite me, and the mother with the children.
Right. So he said, man, Esau wants war. Right. He wanted war. Jacob didn't want war with him. He just trying to pass through the land. He not looking to go into no war with Esau. Esau wanted war. He wanted to smite him. Why did he fear Esau? What was it about Esau and the sword? Right? His blessing was what? The sword. His blessing was military might. His blessing was he'll kill, plunder, and destroy. And that's what he did over the whole earth to this day. Okay? He's still doing it to this day. Okay? He's still setting up no-fly zones, Marines, his armies, his navies. He's using his influence over the earth to what? To capture it. Right? Most recently, what? They got all the migrants traveling up through Central America trying to come. So now he's using his military might to what? To put a squeeze on Mexico. Telling Mexico, you better not let them through. Right? Or it's going to be problems for you. Okay? He always had this using his sword in his military. He wants to build a wall. He wants to roll his tanks. Right? The modern day sword is the gun, the tank, the missile, the bombers. That's the modern day sword, because what was a sword used for? What is a B-52 bomber used for? To kill. It's used for the same thing, right? It's used for war. Okay? It just happened to be a lot more, advanced, efficient, he said. That's one way of looking at it, efficient. Right? You could kill a lot more with it, but it's doing the same thing. Right? It's not used for to bring food. Right? A B-52 bomb is used to destroy. All right? Read.
Verse 12. And thou saidest, I will surely do thee good, and make thy seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for multitude.
Right, so Jacob praying to the Most High, he's saying, man, you told me to go back to the land. I got to pass through the land of Esau. I got to divide my family up because I'm afraid that we don't get smitten by Esau. So he started praying to the Most High. I said, listen, if this is what you want me to go here, do not let my brother destroy my family. Right, read on.
And he lodged there that same night. And took of that which came to his hand a present for Esau his brother. 200 she-goats and 20 he-goats, 200 ewes and 20 rams.
Right, that's a lot of flock. He took all that as what? A gift to Esau. He was about to give Esau all that. Just why? Just to soften him up. Right? So maybe he'll let him pass through. Read on.
Verse 15. 30 milch camels, which their colts, 40 kine, and 10 bulls, 20 she-donkeys, and 10 fowls.
Wow.
And he delivered them into the hand of his servants. Every drove by themselves, and said unto his servants, pass over before me, and put a space betwixt drove and drove.
Right.
And he commanded the foremost, saying, when Esau my brother meeteth thee, and asketh thee, saying, whose art thou, and whither goest thou, and whose are these before thee? Then thou shalt say, they be thy servant Jacob's. It is a present sent unto my lord Esau, and behold, also he is behind us.
Right, so what? So he said, we're going to separate this in two droves, going to go before me. The first drove, when you go out there, you bring all these presents to Esau. And when he asks you where you coming from, where you coming, say, these are presents from Jacob, thy servant. Right? So what is that? What is he doing? What are you doing by calling himself thy servant? He's humbling himself before Esau, so that Esau might let him pass. Right? He said, listen, tell him thy servant Jacob sent all these gifts. Right? After you see all those gifts, his defense is going to be down a little bit. Right? Read on.
Verse 19. And so he commanded, he, the second, and the third, and all that followed the drove, saying, on this manner shall ye speak unto Esau when you find him.
Right. So they tell everybody, when you speak to Esau, you big him up. Call him thy Lord. Make him feel proud. Make him feel high and mighty. Because Esau, he's very what? He's very proud. Right? He wants his name up on high. Right? He wants to be bigged up. He wants to be, wants to be looked at as the king and the president and the top. Okay. He wants those accolades. He wants to be looked at in that way. Right? Read on.
Verse 20. And say ye, moreover, behold, thy servant Jacob is behind us. For he said, I will appease him with the present that goeth before me, and afterward I will see his face. Peradventure he will accept of me.
Right.
So went the present over before him, and himself lodged that night in the company.
Right.
And he rose up that night and took his 2 wives and his 2 women servants,
right,
and his 11 sons, and passed over the ford Jabbok.
Right.
And he took them and sent them over the brook, and sent over that he had. And Jacob was left alone. And there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day.
Right. So as he lied, he was wrestling in the spirit with a man. Okay, read on.
And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh.
Read.
And the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint, as he wrestled with him. And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh.
Right. So this man, as they call it in the scriptures, but we know there's an angel that Jacob was wrestling with, right? Realized he's not going to prevail against Jacob. He's not going to stop Jacob from making this move. Okay. He's going through a battle. He's wrestling with him, but this angel realized this Jacob, he's strong-willed to do the will of the Most High. He's not going to give up. Right? Because I might say, man, if you got to go through all this, why not go another direction? But the Most High said, go that direction, that's the direction he's going to go. Whether it look like it's harm going to be there's going to be, Esau might kill him, he know he got to go that direction. So that night, he wrestled that angel before he went over. And what? He prevailed against that angel. The angel couldn't beat him. Right? Read on.
And he said, I will not let thee go,
right,
except thou bless me.
So he didn't let the angel try to get off of him. He couldn't. He said, I'm not letting you go till you bless me. Read.
And he said unto him, what is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel.
But what?
But Israel.
But Israel. So where does Israel come from? What is the word? Where does the name Israel come from? It's not from the land. It's from what? Jacob's name was changed to Israel. Okay. So that's why we are Israelites, meaning that we are family of the man Israel. Read on.
For as a prince hast thou power with the Most High and with men.
Right. So that's what Israel means. It means prince of power. In Hebrew, it's Yasharallah. Yashar is prince. Allah is power. Yashar Allah. That's how you say Israel in Hebrew. Right? Yashar Allah. Khan? Everybody got that? How do you say Israel in Hebrew? That's right. Yashar Allah. It's two words put together. Prince and power. Yashar Allah. All right, read on.
And has prevailed. And Jacob asked him and said, tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, wherefore is it that thou dost ask after my name? And he blessed him there. And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, for I have seen the Most High face to face, and my life is preserved.
Right. So he's saying he's seen the Most High face to face, but no man seeth the Father. But this angel was a representation of the Most High God, and he wrestled with him, and he prevailed. He wasn't stopped. All right. So the Most High sent his angel to test Jacob, and Jacob passed the test. Everybody understand that? You all going to go through tests. All right. You're all going to go through tests, and you're going to have to wrestle. You're going to have to fight, but it's up to you to pass the test. If you keep failing the test, Most High is going to stop testing you after a while and say, man, you ain't going to make it. When those problems come up, when the issues come and it's so great, don't give up. Right? Jacob is that goal right now, going, and he went through that fire. And he's going to pass through all these issues, and he's going to get the blessing. The same way we got to do it. There's no new thing under the sun. We're serving the same power, the same Yahweh that was over Jacob is over us. Everybody understand that? The same trials and tribulations our forefathers went through in Scripture, we go through right now in life. We just don't realize. You got to correlate it with the Bible. Right? You got to correlate with the Bible, so then you know how to win. All right, read.
Verse 31. And as he passed over Penuel, the sun rose upon him, and he halted upon his thigh. Therefore, the children of Israel eat not of the sinew which shrank, which is upon the hollow of the thigh unto this day, because he touched the hollow of Jacob's thigh and the sinew that shrank. Chapter 33. And Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau came, and with him 400 men. And he divided the children unto Leah and unto Rachel.
Right, so Leah and Rachel was Jacob's two wives, Khan? And there was two different households. So he was lord over two households. Leah was one household, and Rachel was the other household. Of course, in Rachel's household, we also had the concubine, which was who Rachel had? Zilpah? My memory's shot. Zilpah with Rachel? Is it? Who remembers? Who's with Rachel? Who's with Leah? Who remembers their handmaids' names? Who remembers? Who had who? No one remembers that. This is your family tree. Huh? Zilpah. Bilpah. Rachel had Bilpah and Leah had Zilpah. All right? So Rachel had Bilpah, Leah had Zilpah. Right? So they had one household with their children and the other household with their children. How many children in Leah's household? She had 6. Leah had 6 all by herself. How much in her household? 8, right? How many children in Rachel's household? Trick question, right? 4, right? Trick question. All right? All right. Read. Actually, at this point, it's 3. It's not 4 yet. Because I don't think Benjamin not here yet. Read on.
The book of Genesis 33:1. And Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau came, and with him 400 men, and he divided the children unto Leah and unto Rachel and unto the 2 handmaids. And he put the handmaids and their children foremost, and Leah and her children after, and Rachel and Joseph hindermost. And he passed over before them, and bowed himself to the ground 7 times until he came near to his brother. And Esau ran to meet him and embraced him and fell on his neck and kissed him, and they wept. And he lifted up his eyes and saw the women and the children and said, Who are those with thee? And he said, The children which the Most High have graciously given thy servant. Then the handmaidens came near, they and their children, and they bowed themselves. And Leah also with her children came near and bowed themselves. And after came Joseph near and Rachel, and they bowed themselves. And he said, What meanest thou by all this drove which I met? Salakia. And he said, These are to find grace in the sight of my Lord. And Esau said, I have enough, my brother. Keep that thou hast unto thyself. And Jacob said, Nay, I pray thee, if now I have found grace in thy sight, then receive my present at my hand. For therefore I have seen thy face as though I had seen the face of the Most High, and thou wast pleased with me. Take, I pray thee, my blessing that is brought to thee, because the Most High hath dealt graciously with me, and because I have enough. And he hath urged him, and he took it. And he said, let us take our journey, and let us go, and I will go before thee. And he said unto him, my Lord knoweth that the children are tender, and the flocks and herds with young are with me. And if men should overdrive them one day, all the flock will die. Let my Lord, I pray thee, pass over before his servant, and I will lead on softly according as the cattle that goeth before me, and their children be able to endure until I come unto my Lord unto Seir. And Esau said, let me now leave with thee some of the folk that are with me. And he said, what needeth it? Let me find grace in the sight of my Lord. So Esau returned that day on his way unto Seir. And Jacob journeyed to Succoth, and built him an house, and made booths for his cattle. Therefore, the name of the place is called Succoth.
All right, Succoth. So now that's where Succoth got his name when he first set up the booths. The booths were first set up now. Now later on, we go back to Succoth, all right, when we're going out of when you're coming out of Egypt. But this is the first. This is where Succoth is being established. Okay, so he created booths. So what? It worked. Esau was very peaceable with Jacob. You know, even though they kept bowing down to him, the spirit was appeased. All right, read on.
Verse 18. And Jacob came to Shalamah, a city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan, when he came from Padan Aram, and pitched his tent before the city.
Right.
And he brought a parcel of a field where he had spread his tent at the hand of the children of Hamor, Shechem's father, for 100 pieces of money. And he erected there an altar and called it El Elohi Israel.
Right, Elohim Israel, the power of Israel. Right, Elohim Israel, the power of Israel. Read on.
Chapter 34. And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land.
Right.
And when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite.
Right, so now we're in the land of Shechem. There's Canaanites in this land. All right. There's the Hamites in this land, and we got Jacob's family. Then we got Jacob's daughter, Dinah. She went out to see the other daughters. Why? Because in her family, she was the only what? She was the only girl. Right? All of her siblings were brothers. Right? She had 11 brothers. And just Dinah. All right, read.
And when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite, prince of the country, saw her.
He saw Dinah. Read on.
He took her.
He did what?
He took her.
He took her. Right, read on.
And lay with her.
Right.
And defiled her.
What does that mean? What did he do? He what? Did he rape her? Huh? Brother? Right. He took her virginity. He didn't rape her. He didn't force her. He lay with her. All right. But she's defiled now. Why is she defiled now? Right. Right. Also, why else? Monatizat. From a strange nation. What else? Her father didn't give her permission. Remember, she's supposed to get permission from her father. Everybody understand that? She didn't defile herself. Why? Because it wasn't a marriage there. The permission wasn't given. The father did not give Dinah to the prince. He took her. Right? So this is why she was defiled. Okay. This is why when scriptures say if you lay with a woman, let's get that. You may not put her away all the days. For Deuteronomy. Let's look at the law on that. Yeah. Yeah, read that. Deuteronomy 22, verse 28.
Okay. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22 and verse 28. If a man find a damsel that is a virgin,
right,
which is not betrothed,
right,
and lay hold on her,
right,
and lie with her,
right,
and they be found, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver.
Come on.
And she shall be his wife.
Right.
Because he have humbled her.
Right.
He may not put her away all his days.
Right. So what? That's the law for that. You lay with the woman, you now owe the father for laying with his daughter. You should have done it the right way of doing it. The honorable way of doing it is to what? Go to the father first, right? Give the presents to the father first, and then you lay with the woman. Everybody understand this? But there's laws in place for when it happens out of that order. Because it did happen out of that order, and when it did happen that way, then now you still are responsible to going back to that daughter's father. Everybody understand that? You're not off the hook and say, oh, well, I lay with her already, so it don't matter. No, it does matter. You have to make it right. You have to go to the father and make it right. Everybody understand this? All right. So now, he defiled the daughter because why? First of all, he was of another nation, got no permission, right? All the above. Let's read on.
Verse 3. And his soul clave unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he loved the damsel and spake kindly unto the damsel.
Right. He didn't treat her bad. He loved the woman. Right? So his soul inclined on to mean that what? She became what? His how do they say today? Main squeeze? Main squeeze? This is boo. That's his boo now. Right? Read on.
Verse 4. And Shechem spake unto his father Hamor, saying, get me this damsel to wife.
Right. So now Shechem is going to his father saying, you need to make a deal so I can keep this woman. Right? That's what he said, give me this woman to wife. Meaning that we got to make it official. We need a ceremony. We need the whole thing to make it official. The father's got to know. The family's got to know. Right? It can't be just, we can't just sweep this under the rug. Everybody understand this? Read.
And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah, his daughter. Now his sons were with his cattle in the field. And Jacob held his peace until they were come.
Right. So what? Jacob heard what happened. Message got back to Jacob. Dinah went off with this prince here. Right? Hamor. Wait, no. Shechem. Right? He went off with Shechem. Dinah went off with Shechem. The word got back to Jacob. He didn't say nothing yet. He thought about his sons. I think he knew his sons was going to wild out. Right? It's like a big brothers and their little sister. They're going to wild out when they hear their sister when they mess with, give me one of them Arabic names on the street. It's like Arabic name on the street, man. What they be calling themselves? The cat from the gas station, Ahmad, right? When they find out that they thought they messed with Ahmad from the gas station, these brothers gonna be mad as hell. You did what? They gonna get Donna like, you did what? Oh, he loves me, right? She gonna say he treats me nice, right? They don't care about all that. It's a disgrace to the family, right? Read on.
Verse 6. And Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out unto Jacob to commune with him.
Right. So Hamor, now Shechem's father. So now the two fathers need to talk about this. For the father of the daughter and the father of the son. They need to have this conversation. All right, read.
And the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it. And the men were grieved, and they were very wroth, because he had wrought folly in Israel.
Right.
And lying with Jacob's daughter, which thing ought not to be done.
They're like, man, they got it. This scripture said they were very wroth. Meaning they were angry. They got together and was like, what? This cat disrespected. Right? How could Shechem come and take one of Israel's daughter? Nah, they got together and it was not a good scene, right? They was meditating evils against these people at this point, right? Read on.
Verse 8. And Hamor communed with them, saying, the soul of my son Shechem longeth for your daughter.
Right.
I pray you give him to wife.
Right. He said, listen, let's make it right. My son really loves your daughter. Can we work something out? All right. Read on.
And make ye marriages with us, and give your daughters unto us, and take our daughters unto you.
He said, man, we got daughters. Your sons could have our daughters. Let's try to work this out. All right. So Hamor came to Jacob, trying to peaceably, make a covenant with the children of Israel. Right. Read on.
And ye shall dwell with us, and the land shall be before you.
Right.
Dwell and trade ye therein, and get you possessions therein.
He said, man, you can have this land. You can have any, the areas you want. We work together. We trade back and forth. But both families, we can work together. This is what Hamor is posing to Israel, to Jacob.
And Shechem said unto her father and unto her brethren, let me find grace in your eyes, and what ye shall say unto me, I will give. Ask me never so much dowry and gift, and I will give according as ye shall say unto me. But give me the damsel to wife.
He said, I'll pay you. It don't matter how much. You name your number, I will give it to you for your daughter. Read on.
And the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor his father deceitfully, and said, because he had defiled Dinah their sister. And they said unto them, we cannot do this thing to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised, for that were a reproach unto us.
So now you hear that the sons of Jacob answered him deceitfully. That means Israel's sons, they were saying one thing, but they had another thing in their mind. They were being deceitful to the sons of Hamor. And said, no, what? We can't give our daughter to somebody that's uncircumcised. Right? Because it was in our tradition from Abraham that we are what? Circumcised. When the foreskin is removed off of our male member, we are circumcised. This covenant was first between Abraham and the Most High God, and then passed on through all Abraham's lineage, that we are to be circumcised. Read on.
For that were a reproach unto us. But in this will we consent unto you, if ye will be as we be, that every male of you be circumcised. Then will we give our daughters unto you, and we will take your daughters to us.
Right. So they're saying we'll give you our children, our daughters. We could be a nation together. We can dwell together. We can have marriages amongst the nations. Right. Read on.
And we will dwell with you, and we will become one people.
We become one people even. Right. Read on.
But if ye will not hearken unto us to be circumcised, then will we take our daughter, and we will be gone.
Right.
And their words pleased Hamor and Shechem, Hamor's son.
Right.
And the young man deferred not to do the thing, because he had delight in Jacob's daughter.
Right.
And he was more honorable than all the house of his father.
Right. So, Shechem was a stand-up dude, man. He was a stand-up guy. He said he was more honorable than all his house. So he didn't even waste no time. He got the cutting. All right. Everybody getting circumcised. Right. Circumcisions for everybody. All right. Read on. Hey, man. It was on. All right. Read on.
And Hamor and Shechem, his son, came unto the gate of their city, and communed with the men of their city, saying, these men are peaceable with us.
All right.
Therefore, let them dwell in the land and trade therein. For the land, behold, it is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters to us for wives, and let us give them our daughters.
Right.
Only herein will the men consent unto us to dwell with us, to be one people. if every male among us be circumcised as they are circumcised,
right?
Shall not their cattle and their substance and every beast of theirs be ours? Only let us consent unto them, and they will dwell with us.
Right. So he said, look at them, they got a lot of cattle. Remember, Jacob was rich at this time. He had a lot of cattle, a lot of things. Say, look how much stuff they got. It would be good for them to join with us. So they try to, like, how could you say, convince the people that it would be a benefit for them to join with Jacob and his company and his family, because they got all this cattle, all this stuff. All theirs will be ours. All we gotta do is give them our daughters, and we take their daughters. Right? It's a win-win situation. Right? Read on.
Verse 24. And unto Hamor and unto Shechem his son hearkened all that went out of the gate of his city. And every male was circumcised all that went out of the gate of his city.
Right.
And it came to pass on the third day when they were sore.
When they were what?
When they were sore.
Right. So the third day, it took 3 days of circumcisions. Everybody's sore, that can't feel good, right? To be circumcised, So, they got no anesthesia, probably some local thing, they a little numbing cream or whatever, but hey, after that, that's going to wear off in about, 24 hours. You're going to feel that pain afterwards, right? Read.
That two of the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi.
Who?
Simeon and Levi.
Let me tell you. Simeon and Levi, right? Two problem children of the Most High, right? Today they would be called what? They both dwell on the same island, okay? One side is called the Dominican Republic, and the other side is called Haiti, right? That is Simeon and Levi today, okay? There was always prophesied that they would be together, and they would be, how could I say, what the scripture is going to say. We're going to read on, right? And when they get together, it's a problem, right? It was a problem for the Blanche, trust me. When they got together, it was a problem for the European when Simeon and Levi actually joined forces. When they join forces, it's a problem. All right, read.
Dinah's brethren took each man his sword,
right,
and came upon the city boldly,
right,
and slew all the males,
right,
and they slew Hamor and Shechem his son with the edge of the sword,
right,
and took Dinah out of Shechem's house and went out.
So they went and killed everybody. Simeon and Levi, bloody men, right? They went and slew everybody. Everybody saw it up. They laid out because they just got circumcised, and they went and hacked them up to pieces, right? Read on.
27. The sons of Jacob came upon the slain and spoiled the city.
Not only did they kill them, then they took all their stuff. That's what it means that they spoiled the city. And they robbed them, right? Read on.
Because they had defiled their sister.
And they do all this because Shechem defiled their sister. He lay with their sister. It did not ask for permission. And then had the audacity to try to make marriages. I think we're going to be all good and we're going to just be together because you done took our sister. They wasn't having it. All right? Go ahead. It was not what? It was not rape, no. No, it's a matter of disrespect. It wasn't about punishment, right? Don't get me wrong. It's not that it's a break in the commandment. The way a daughter is supposed to get with a man, or if a man sees a woman and wants to get with that woman, he's supposed to go to that woman's father first, right? This was the issue. And she knew that too. And that's what I'm saying. A woman can't be a sin pass. If the woman lets you, right, that doesn't mean it's cool, it's good. It was not rape. Right. She did wickedly. We're not debating that, right? And as a man, you understand, this is good for our young men to hear this, to understand this, right? Not because she let you mean it's right. You have to go to the Father. That law is on you. Everybody understand that? She's supposed to agree to that, go to the Father, right? But you, as the stronger vessel, you're supposed to go to the Father, right? You're supposed to do what's right regardless of what she's saying. Everybody understand that? Right? If she say, "Oh, forget him, he ain't gonna do. Don't worry about my father." Yeah, I am gonna worry about your father, because this is the law that was given to me. As a man of the Most High, I have to go to your father. All right? She cannot give you permission to just go forward, but unless that's what you want to do. And evidently, a lot of times, that's what the man want to do anyway. So when they say that, they go ahead and do it anyway, right? Now they want to try to clean it up on the back end. All right? Everybody understand this? The rules of engagement is, you see a woman, you like that woman, you have to go to that woman's father before you lay with that woman. Because there's a chance that the father will not accept you. Everybody understand this? Give me what is that? Exodus 20 and 16? 22:16? Exodus 22:16. Look at Exodus 22:16.
The book of Exodus, chapter 22 and verse 16.
Uh-huh.
And if a man entice a maid,
right? You entice the woman
that is not betrothed, and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife.
Right? Read on.
If her father utterly refuse,
her father what?
Utterly refuse.
You see, this is why you have to go to the father first. Everybody understand this? Because the father could refuse you. Because that woman belongs to her father. She does not have right to give herself away. Everybody understand this? If she gives herself away, she did what is not, which is not right in her father's house. That is not righteous in their father's house. Okay? She can be accused of what? Playing the harlot in her father's house. Right? She gave herself away without her father's permission. I wanted to make sure everybody's clear on that. Okay? That they're supposed to be, the way things are supposed to be done, then there's the way things were done. And then there's laws to govern situations. The law to govern the situation, if he enticed the woman and lay with the woman and never spoke to the father, now he has to go and face the music. He has to go to the father now. He's not off the hook. He can't just take the woman and run away with her. Right? Yeah, we're done. Say it louder. Can we stone? We can't stone anybody here. No stone. Leave your stones. No stones. Right? Right? Leave that to Levi. Let Levi do the stoning. Right? But no. But the understanding is this. It's up to the father at this point on how he deal with that daughter, right? If he accept that, this, you know, he can have compassion on his daughter and say, listen, you're of age and all this stuff. You should have came to me first, but we'll work it out, right? Or he could punish that daughter. You know what I mean? It depends on that father. You know what I mean? It's his rule. It's his house. The daughter belongs to him. You understand? As a man now, we're supposed to honor that. Because as men, we're going to have daughters one day. Con? Every man should be having that mentality that, listen, I cannot treat somebody else's daughter differently than I want somebody to treat my daughter. And if my daughter is going off and she want to lay with a man, that man should be like, "La, you going off, I'm going to go see your father first." Right? That's when men actually become heads and leaders. We want to be the head. We got to act like the head. Everybody understand that? You got to have a discipline with the Most High God. Because who's your head? Mashiach Yahushua. She's not your head. So not because she said cool, means it's cool. All right? Brandon. You can't have her. Tough. It is what it is. All right? Move on. All right? There's a lot of women out there. All right? Father ain't accept you. Guess what? You're not accepted. Rejected. All right? Take your stamp and get to the back of the line. All right? Take the L, right? Take the L, get to the back of the line. All right? So, but that's what happens. We try to circumvent the law. We try to circumvent the process of the Most High, and you want to go grab the woman, lay with the woman already, then go to the father and go, oh, well, the father will not accept me. You're supposed to touch the woman already. You were not supposed to touch the woman yet. So you out of the order already. Is everybody clear on that? All right, it's clear in the scriptures. This was the issue that Joseph had with Mary. And why Joseph wanted to put away Mary privately, because he lay with Mary before the wedding. All right? Even though she was espoused to him, he wasn't supposed to lay with her until they what? Came together. Another topic, but understand what's happening in Scripture. Once you learn the laws of the Most High God, then you understand better what's happening in the New Testament. Okay? When they said before they came together, I mean they were not married. They didn't go through the ceremony. They didn't get the dowry wasn't paid. All that stuff wasn't done yet. Right? They were just espoused. They were engaged. Okay? So, in this understanding, so what was the problem here? Dinah went off, yes. But Shechem should have never touched Dinah without going to see Jacob. Not because Dinah was cool with it, makes Shechem sin any less. Anybody understand that? Well, it's not rape. She was a willing participant, right? But it was not her right to give herself away without it going to her father. Okay? Right? But like it says, like we just read in the law, if a man entice a maid, right? A lot of you brothers got game, man. Y'all get to talking, right? And y'all get to in the woman's head, right? And next thing you know, you don't get the woman, right? And then you act innocent. And you had, it was her, right? No. It was you. All right, everybody understand that? All right, you got to take it on yourself. You got to take that responsibility. All right, as men of the Most High, we got to take responsibility for our actions. And we can never blame the woman. It didn't work for Adam. It ain't going to work for you. All right? Adam tried to do that. It's the woman you gave me, Lord. He looked at it. What? 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 All right? It ain't work for him. It ain't going to work for you. And it surely didn't work for Shechem here. Because him and his whole crew, his whole family, his whole lineage got killed. Right? His father on down by the hand of Levi and Simeon. All right, let's read on.
The book of Genesis, chapter 34 and verse 28.
Uh-huh.
They took their sheep and their oxen and their donkeys and that which was in the city, and that which was in the field.
They stole all their stuff, took it everything. Well, they killed them already, so now I guess who else is going to use it, right? Read on.
And all their wealth, and all their little ones, and their wives took they captive.
Right.
And spoiled even all that was in the house.
And put captivity on their wives and their children. Kill all the men and capture their wives and children. Read on.
And Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, Ye have troubled me to make me to stink among the inhabitants of the land.
Right, man. He said, what have you done, man? He said, you have troubled me, Levi and Simeon. Right? He said, you made me to stink. And then mean what? All the nations going to see me now and be like, yo, I ain't messing with this cat. I ain't messing with Jacob. This guy, did you hear what they did to Shechem and his family? When that story get around, right? Nobody gonna want to mess with Israel no more. Right? Read on. They don't want. They don't want to do no deals, no trade. You know what I mean? You make me to stink amongst the nations. They don't want me around now. When something stink, you get rid of it. Come. Read.
Among the Canaanites and the Perizzites, and I being few in number, they shall gather themselves together against me,
right,
and slay me,
right, and
I shall be destroyed, I and my house.
Right, come on.
And they said, should he deal with our sister as with an harlot?
So that's their answer. Right? That's Levi's Simeon's answer. After Jacob done explained to them what was the wrong of what they did. Right? You done kill a whole family of Hamites. This Hamites all around us. We are a small family. What are we going to do now? Right? Why if all these nations get together and destroy us then? Then what? All they had to say, well, you shouldn't have touched our sister. That was their answer. Should he deal with our sister like a harlot then? Just grab her, and lay with her? didn't ask no permission, didn't get no honorable marriage, nothing. All right? So we can't have that. All right. So that was their understanding. Read on.
Chapter 35. And the Most High said unto Jacob, Arise, go up to Bethel, and dwell there,
right,
and make there an altar unto the Most High, that appeared unto thee when thou fleddest from the face of Esau thy brother.
Come on.
Then Jacob said unto his household and to all that were with him, Put away the strange gods that are among you, and be clean, and change your garments.
Right.
And let us arise and go up to Bethel, and I will make there an altar unto the Most High, who answered me in the day of my distress, and was with me in the way which I went.
Come on.
And they gave unto Jacob all the strange gods which were in their hand, and all their earrings which were in their ears. And Jacob hid them under the oak which was by Shechem.
Which was by Shechem, right? So he got rid of all that stuff that they stole from the Hamites. He said, give me all that stuff. We're going to go up and praise the Most High. We're going to go up the mountain. We got to get out of here. Because y'all caused a lot of drama. Most High gave him instruction. So let's get up out of here. Let's go to Bethel. Leave all this stuff here. Don't take all that stuff. Leave their stuff. Leave their gold. Leave all their trinkets, all their gods. Right? Because they used to make molten gods out of their jewelry were gods. You know, different statues and stuff that they worship. So leave all that here. You put it under the tree where Shechem was, and we got up out of there. All right, read.
Verse 5. And they journeyed, and the terror of the Most High was upon the cities that were round about them. And they did not pursue after the sons of Jacob.
Right, so what? Most High put a fearful spirit in all the nations, all them Hamites that's around. So they didn't go after Israel. They said, man, leave them cats alone, man. They done kill a whole city. 2 brothers. I don't think I'm messing with these guys, right? So he put the fear of them upon all the other nations, and they left them alone. Read on.
So Jacob came to Luz, which is in the land of Canaan, that is Bethel, he and all the people that were with him. And he built there an altar and called the place El Bethel.
Right, El Bethel. Right.
Because there the Most High appeared unto him when he fled from the face of his brother.
Right.
But Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, died, and she was buried beneath Bethel under an oak. And the name of it was called Alon Bach-Uf. And the Most High appeared unto Jacob again, and he came out of Padam Aram and blessed him. And the Most High said unto him, Thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name.
Right.
And he called his name Israel. And the Most High said unto him, I am the Most High Power Almighty.
Right. Al Shaddai, the Power Almighty. Read on.
Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins.
Read.
And the land which I gave Abraham and Isaac, to thee I will give it, and to thy seed after thee will I give the land.
Come on.
And the Most High went up from him in the place where he talked with him. And Jacob set up a pillar in the place where he talked with him, even a pillar of stone.
Right.
And he poured a drink offering thereon, and he poured oil thereon.
Right.
And Jacob called the name of the place where the Most High spake with him, Bethel. And they journeyed from Bethel, and there was but a little way to come to Ephrath, and Rachel travailed, and she had hard labor.
Right. So Rachel then what? She was travailing with labor. When she's pregnant, she's about to bring forth another son, Rachel. Now, mind you, Rachel's nurse died. So who was that? Who was Rachel's nurse again? Bilpah. Right? Bilpah passed. So now she's about to have another child, but it's just her alone in that household. Because Leah had what? Zilpah in her household. Everybody understand that? Remember, Jacob was rolling with 2 households. All right, read.
Verse 17. And it came to pass, when she was in hard labor, that the midwife said unto her, Fear not, thou shalt have a son also. And it came to pass, as her soul was in departing,
right?
For she died.
She what?
For she died.
Right, she died during childbirth. Okay, as she brought forth this last son, she died during the childbirth. Right, read on.
That she called his name Benoni.
Benoni. Right.
But his father called him Benjamin.
Benjamin, right? Son of the right. Read.
And Rachel died and was buried in the way of Ephrath, which is Bethlehem. And Jacob set a pillar upon her grave. That is the pillar of Rachel's grave unto this day. And Israel journeyed and spread his tent beyond the tower of Edar. And it came to pass, when Israel dwelt in that land, that Reuben went and lay with Bilhah, his father's concubine, and Israel heard it. Now the sons of Jacob were 12. The sons of Leah, Reuben, Jacob's firstborn, and Simeon, and Levi.
We can't skip over that. Read that again, verse 22.
Verse 22. And it came to pass, when Israel dwelt in that land,
right,
that Reuben,
right,
went and lay with Bilhah,
right,
it's like his father's concubine, and Israel heard it. Now the sons of Jacob were 12.
Right. So then what? Reuben went off. Right. He went way off. What did he do? What did he commit? Adultery. Right. Reuben committed adultery because Reuben laid with his father's wife, right? But that's not his mother. Who's Reuben's mother? Leah. Leah is Reuben's mother, but he lay with Bilhah, which was the servant woman of Rachel, right? So he committed adultery, and he did that which was not right in the sight of the Most High. Okay, let's read on.
Verse 23. The sons of Leah, Reuben, right, Jacob's firstborn, and Simeon, and Levi, and Judah, and Issachar, and Zebulun.
Right.
The sons of Rachel, Joseph, and Benjamin.
Right.
And the sons of Bilhah, Rachel's handmaid, Dan and Naphtali.
You know.
And the sons of Zilpah, Leah's handmaid, Gad and Asher. These are the sons of Jacob, which were born to him in Padan Aram.
Right, so that's your family tree. That is the 12 tribes of Israel and their mothers. All right, all laid out for you. All right. Get out. Right. She was what? Was Bilhah Israel? Well, no. She was a concubine because she was a servant woman. She was a servant woman. She was a servant to Rachel. There's no Israel yet. Well, Israel is being formed now. Bilhah comes out of Laban's house. At the time of Laban, there's no Israel. Another lineage, right? She wasn't part of Laban's lineage. She wasn't one of Laban's daughters, no, right? She was not one of Laban's daughters, okay? She came from his house, but not as one of his daughters. His two daughters that he had was Rachel and Leah, and he gave him two servant women, which was Zilpah and Bilhah, right? They probably was Assyrians, right? Probably was Assyrians, so they wasn't of the lineage of Laban, not of the lineage of Abraham. They were not of the lineage of Abraham. Okay. That's not why they were concubines, but they were concubines nonetheless, because they were servant women. Servants, exactly. Right. All right. Read on.
Verse 27. And Jacob came unto Isaac his father, unto Mamre, unto the city of Arba, which is Hebron, where Abraham and Isaac sojourned.
Right.
And the days of Isaac were 180 years.
Right.
And Isaac gave up the ghost and died.
So how old was Isaac? How old was Isaac when he died? 180 years old. Right. He was 180 years old when he died. 180. That's 180. All right, read on.
And Isaac gave up the ghost and died, and was gathered unto his people, being old and full of days.
Right.
And his sons Esau and Jacob buried him.
All right, so that ends the 35th chapter. We're about to take the break. Any announcements for the break time that I need to know? Anything that need to be announced? Khan, anything? You said La'a? Oh, okay. I think you said. The Hanukkah. We actually we got a council on that. We are trying to get a place. It's not solidified yet, so we don't want to give her the address till we actually pay for it. We will have that solidified by Monday. All right, whether we're going to be in that place or what. As for food, I believe we electing a few sisters to cook or something like that, or you're going to everybody bring something. For Hanukkah, yeah. Last year we did a few sisters cooked. We do it that way. All right. For Hanukkah, we're gonna select a few sisters to cook, so it's not gonna be everybody cook, and then we're gonna actually with the Hanukkah donation, which is $25 for single, $50 for family. Okay, it's $25 for single, $50 for family. There's a Hanukkah donation. We're gonna use that to give the sisters that's gonna cook, and they're gonna make all the food. You know what I mean? It won't be so late. Won't be so late. Back 6, because it's a Sunday. It'll be 6. It'll be 6 o'clock, December 2nd. That's fine. That's fine. But yes, we right. Yeah. Please write on it, Hanukkah. Everybody that bring a donation, please write on it, Hanukkah. It's $50 for family, $25 per individual. We are renting a place. We're not gonna have it here, because we don't think it's gonna hold. All right. We're gonna have food and entertainment and all that good stuff. So it's gonna be a great feast. Don't miss it. December 2nd. Unfortunately, we don't have the venue locked down just yet. The holidays kind of prevented us from getting it locked down, but we're gonna work on getting that locked down by Monday. Once we get the venue locked down, it will be on the WhatsApp. We will promote it on the YouTube. Anybody that's not on the WhatsApp, that needs to be on the WhatsApp is on ours. Hezkel, right? Hezkel, raise your hand or stand up for a second, Hezkel. Give him your number so he can add you into the Light of Zion WhatsApp if you're not on it already. Con? All right, so you make sure you get your number over to him during the break, so he gets you on the WhatsApp. So when we put information out there, everybody gets it. It just helps us communicate with everybody at one shot. All right. If everybody doesn't know, I'll do it. All right. Birth announcement. All right. Kahan's son was born. All right. Hallelujah. We added to the nation, little brother Zadok. All right, he's added to the nation. All praises be to the power of Isaac and Jacob, for he giveth life. All right, so he's healthy, he's well, he's looking good like an Israelite should. All right. Any other announcements? Anything else is everything? Of course, we're going to have our officer council tonight. Will be officer council after service. So make sure you're here for officer council. It's a very important council. A lot's going to be discussed. So do not, all the officers don't miss that council. Can't think what else we got. Moshe not here. He usually tells me all my announcements, but he's not here. So at this time, we're going to break until later on this break, and then we'll come back together, in about a half an hour or so. All right, hallelujah. All right.